Hello and welcome to the Community Voice. I am Fara Sachs. Coming shortly to our community, the International at Aventura. It is a brand new luxury adult living community. I am so excited. It is going to be magnificent for our community. And today joining me is Amanda Griffith. She is the Community Director, Relations Director. I got to get that title right. And she is a certified dementia practitioner. Thank you so much for joining me and for being part of the Community Voice today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm very excited.
Well, I know I'm going to put her on the spot, but she sings. And she was a musical arts major in college. So can you just sing a little bit? What she sings to her seniors. And I think this is just a magnificent, please, you have a magnificent voice.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll sing a little Elvis. A lot of people know this song. I sing it to my seniors. It's called Can't Help Falling in Love with You. So, wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Thank you.
Thank
Beautiful,
you.
Beautiful. There's something about music, and I think when you're dealing with people that have memory loss or have their faculties a little bit altered at this time in their lives, that music soothes that. And that's a bridge to reach.
It does. It does. Yeah. I've seen some amazing things through music. You know, I work with a lot of folks that have dementia and Alzheimer's. And I remember at the start of my career having a lady that could not tie her shoes, needed help with pretty much everything throughout the day. But she would sit at the piano and could still play tons of songs from musicals, from, her church that she grew up in. And so to have that memory intact, that musical memory, just shows how powerful it really is.
So that's the long-term memory.
It is.
It's the short term that gets lost in the dementia process?
Yeah, typically. So there's a ton of different types of dementia. This particular case was Alzheimer's. And so it's very common that the short-term memory fades much quicker than the long-term memory. So those long-term standing memories last a lot longer. And so if you learn music as a child, some of those childhood memories, they stay intact a lot longer.
And this is not your first foray into the senior adult community living situation. You've had much experience, 10 years.
Yeah.
And now at the International at Aventura. Tell me a little bit about what's in store for our community. It's coming soon. There's going to be 3 different components for our community to get involved and to really assist seniors.
Yeah, so the International at Aventura, we're very excited about. It's a luxury senior living property community, right? We say community, not a facility, because it really is a community. It's a community lifestyle.
So maybe we can just show as we're talking about.
Sure. Yeah, so this is going to be an amazing, beautiful community right here in Aventura, Florida. The first floor that you see there of that brown building kind of in the center, that is our building. But that first floor is going to be a public retail market cafe area. We have 2 floors of garage parking, complimentary valet, and then you'll see the outdoor pool there. And we're a 10-story building. So
this is a rendering.
It is a rendering. You can actually see most of that now is all built out, which is lovely. If you're driving by Biscayne and 214th Street, you'll be able to see our community.
So here we go. Take us to the next one. Tell me what I'm seeing.
So this is our main entrance. Again, complimentary valet parking for residents and guests. And so you'll be dropped off right here at the main entrance, be greeted by our friendly concierge that will be there and available 24 hours a day. And so once you go around the corner, you'll go up our elevators. Elevator doors open on the 4th floor. All of our amenities are on the 4th floor. So they're all centrally located, which makes it easy for our residents to navigate. So this is our lounge area, and you can see those glass doors that'll open up to the pool deck. We'll have a piano, because again, music is so important.
And Amanda, you're going to be there on a Friday night, Saturday night at the bar?
Soiree, yes.
And what are we seeing next?
This is our dining. This is actually our bistro bar. So we'll have social happy hour daily with musical entertainment, and then this connects to our beautiful dining room. We have 2 lovely dining rooms, lovely glass windows, lots of natural light, beautiful, kind of modern contemporary decor. Very
it's soothing.
sleek.
It's very, very
Yes.
soothing. The colors, the blues, the pastels, the beiges, and the grays. I feel very relaxed.
Yes. And I love that window into the kitchen. You can see your meals being prepared. We hired an incredible dining director that has experience working for cruise lines. And so we're very excited about the quality of meals that will be served at the community.
I love the tulips. This is the pool, and where's this
This
overlook?
is the pool deck. So who doesn't love an outdoor pool in
love
South
this.
Florida with palm trees, right?
Absolutely. And my producer said that, are you sure this is a senior living? I might want to go live there.
55 and up.
Oh, well, she's about 20-something. So, but beautiful. That is beautiful. And our next slide. Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, fitness center. So we'll have state-of-the-art equipment there. We'll also host fitness classes for our residents. And so that's something that's very important as well to keep them physically healthy as well.
Absolutely. And we have any more? Are we done on this? Oh, we're back. Good.
Yeah.
Talk about the comprehensive services and amenities that are being offered.
Yeah. So in our community, we'll offer independent living, assisted living, as well as memory care. And so this is for folks that need sort of that supportive environment, whether they're, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe their health isn't so great, or, maybe they're still very spry in their 80s and 90s, but they just need a little bit of support. And so we come in with quality services, and we're going to provide housekeeping. We're going to clean for them. Who doesn't want that? We provide laundry services. So we're going to wash, dry, fold that laundry and put it away how they prefer, right? So that's an important thing too. Everybody's particular on how things are done for them. So we really get to know our residents, and we work very hard to make sure that however our residents' lifestyle is now, we're just adding to that in a positive way. Activities, social events are so important for our residents. We offer sort of 3 pillars that we focus on of excellence in our community. And one of them is those social programs. And so, educational lectures, keeping their mind fit is very important. Physically fit, those exercise classes, chair Zumba, yoga, activities in the pool, very important. Trips outside of the community as well. We offer transportation. So we'll have a bus shuttle that will take folks around town to go to the arts center, to see plays and musicals. We'll also have transportation to doctor's appointments, as well as the grocery store, get them out of the community a little bit, go to museums. We want to keep them active as much as possible.
So you're meeting your residents where they're at right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how big is the living space?
Yeah, so we offer studio apartments, 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments. We have beautiful balcony terraces as an option. We have over 50 different floor plans. So one of the great things that I get to do is when somebody comes in, I get to kind of narrow it down for them, what's important to them, where in the building do they need to be, do they want to be, and then we pick what's right for them.
I know you have 3 different kinds of living environments. Do we have nurses on staff? Do we have doctors, depending on the severity of what's going on in each of the residents' lives?
We do. So independent living is certainly for folks that, again, just need a little bit of support, cleaning, chef-inspired meals made for them.
Oh, I love that. I want to go. I love it. Chef-inspired meal. I want to eat well.
I compare it to a cruise ship, right? So cruise ship living, you've got your musical entertainment, you've got, parties, alcohol, if you want to have a glass of wine, that's something we're going to give and offer to you. Also, that housekeeping, the transportation, those social events, maybe it's just something as simple as us helping you carry your groceries to your apartment. So that supportive environment is really important. Of course, we take care of all the maintenance as well. And so that's a, relief for a lot of families is that we'll come in and, we'll help them with their remote control. We'll help them, change the channel if they need that. So just being there as a support for our independent living residents, but keeping them active and independent as long as they possibly can be. We actually help keep them independent longer. In our assisted living, we do start to provide care from our nursing team. And so around the clock, we have nurses, CNAs, med techs. We help with medication management. We'll order those medications. We'll give the medications at the time that they need it. Also, make sure that they're refilled. If they're running out, we'll get orders from their doctor. We have doctors that visit right on site. So if they want to see the doctor that comes to our community, that's an option. They don't even have to leave the building. And so we'll help with bathing, dressing, all the way through if they start to need help getting in and out of a wheelchair, transfer assistance. So we call those activities of daily living, right? Mm-hmm. Even putting toothpaste on a toothbrush is something we do on a daily basis. So if someone needs help with that, we're going to help them.
And how big is the staff for each of the different living facilities?
Yeah. So we have a robust staff, right, that takes care of our residents. But really how we staff our community is based upon the residents' needs. So if we have several residents that are moving in that might need light assistance with dressing or bathing, we're going to staff appropriately for that. But then if we have residents that are aging in place and they need a little bit of extra help, maybe we're starting to have our residents, several residents that need total help in the shower or transferring in and out of wheelchairs, we're going to add team members for that as well. So we really base our staffing and our team members based upon our residents' specific needs.
And I would imagine that moving into this situation is a difficult one. Many of your residents have probably lived a robust life independently, and the families have not had to step in. And how does that transition happen? And it's a daunting task of preparing the loved one. So possibly maybe you can speak to addressing that and how to speak to a loved one who is having to deal with their loved one that might need your services at the International.
Right. Yeah. So we definitely have two different types of tours that come to see us when somebody comes to look at our community. Sometimes it's the senior themselves, and they're starting to notice that maybe life is not as easy as it once was, and they're interested in maybe getting a little more support. But then the families sometimes come to us first before the seniors, because they're noticing maybe, mom or dad is, not taking their medications and it's affecting things, or
they're not taking care of themselves.
They're not taking care of themselves. Yep.
So you're dealing a lot with not only like the having to prepare, but you're also dealing with a whole psychology, a whole ecosystem of the way they live their lives.
Right. Yeah. So, we always say our biggest competitor is not another senior living community. Our biggest competitor is home, right? Because a lot of people, they're comfortable in their home. A lot of these seniors have been in their homes for 30, 40, sometimes 50 years, in these condos in their homes. And so for them to leave that environment that they're familiar with is a very scary thing. And so we are here to make that transition not as scary. We are here to make it a joyous experience. We are here to make it an easy experience. And we are here to enhance their life because sitting at home in front of a TV and a recliner is not a way to live in your 80s and 90s. There's a lot more to life. And so we show seniors that through our community.
Absolutely. And you're supporting that. And is this covered by insurance?
So long-term care insurance, depending on their policy, will typically reimburse our seniors for assisted living as well as for memory care. And so we're always happy to, speak to them about that, take a look at their policy. And so, everybody's policy is different. But yes, long-term care insurance will often reimburse for that.
And what is the usual duration of residents being with you at the International?
So that's a great question. Our seniors, the great thing about our community is it is an annual lease, right? So it's got a lot of flexibility with it. So someone can move in, and then if for some reason, say they need to move closer to family or something happens and they need to move out, it's a 30-day notice. And so they have a lot of flexibility with us. But what we find is once they move into a community, they settle into that community. They make friends. They really get into the lifestyle of community living. And sometimes they stay with us for 2 to 10 years, depending on their health.
And you really establish relationships, not only with the residents, but with the families.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I've had a 10-year career in senior living, and the stories that I hear and the people that I get to meet, some of these seniors are amazing. Our World War II veterans, unfortunately, they're starting to be in their late 90s, and so we're seeing few and fewer of those folks. But when you get to hear their stories, it's quite amazing. Everybody has a background.
What is the most amazing story that you heard that touched you?
Yeah, most amazing story. I started my career actually as an activities director, so I got to plan all the fun events starting out. And so I was able to get very close to a senior. She was actually the first female in the Civil Air Patrol. So after Pearl Harbor, at the start of World War II, they recruited people to watch the skies and to make sure that there was not going to be another bombing like Pearl Harbor. And so she was actually 14. She lied about her age. I think you had to be 17 at the time, lied about her age, and was the first female in the Civil Air Patrol. And she actually had signatures in a little black book that she kept under her bed, kind of hidden and secret away. But we would develop a positive relationship. And so she showed me this book, and it had General Doolittle, who actually led the attack on Hiroshima. Yeah, was one of the signatures that she had gotten and had a personal, friendship with him. So very interesting. Very interesting.
You can write a book, Amanda. Yeah. You can read a book.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Yeah, because you wanted to be on Broadway, music major, to singing for assisted living, luxury assisted living facilities. It's an amazing. What you're doing is an amazing gift.
Thank you. Well, it's very purposeful, to work for senior living is an extremely purposeful career. It's an extremely purposeful and personal job to have, because I don't feel like I'm, selling the community. I feel like I'm really a resource to these families. And even if our community isn't the right place for them, I try to direct them in a way so that they are being taken care of.
It's part of you're part of their journey, but they're a part of your journey is what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you get into assisted living and working with seniors?
Interesting question. So, unfortunately, my mother developed early onset Alzheimer's. She was 54 years old when we started to notice signs, and she had me a little later in life. So I was actually still in high school.
What were some of the signs so that our audience can also look for those signs? Because some of them are so simple and light, and you'd go, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, I talk a lot about normal aging, right? Which is, where did I put my keys? Where did I put my cell phone, right? We all have moments like that.
I had them.
Yeah, I have them. 33 years old, I have them. So, that's normal. But, to not remember that you can't drive anymore, or to not remember, directions in a familiar place, a familiar town. For us, it was really, I was a teenager at the time. I was getting my learner's permit, and I noticed that she was going left on red. She wasn't following the rules of the road. That was a big red flag. And then also, she was worked at a hospital gift shop, and she could no longer count the drawer anymore. And this was a job she was doing for 15 years. So those changes are definitely red flags that, the daily tasks that should come easy are no longer easy.
So you became more compassionate because you lived and you walked the walk.
I definitely became more compassionate, but I'll tell you that, and I think I can speak for a lot of families that have loved ones that go through dementia. It is an extremely frustrating disease. And so it's very easy to become frustrated with the person that has that disease, especially when it's your family member, because the expectation of the role that you had, that they had before this disease is no longer being filled. And so the loved one's actually grieving while this disease is going on. And so through the process of grief, sometimes anger and frustration is one of those things. And so, at our community, we'll certainly offer a support group to families so that people know that they're not alone. I would say that's the biggest thing with having loved ones with dementia and Alzheimer's is, surrounding yourself with people that understand the disease that can counsel you through it.
I think it's beautifully said, because I think that there's so many things going on at the same time, and to nurture oneself, to self-care. How did you get through it?
For me, when you're in it, I think
because you were young.
I was young.
You were very young. You're still very young.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you're young and you're going through it, but even if you're not young going through it, you're taking it one day at a time. And honestly, how I got through it was being able to share those frustrations, those good days, those bad days with other people, and kind of opening up and letting other people know really what was going on, I think is very powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And let's talk about what sets the International at Aventura apart from the rest of the community.
Yeah. So this is my favorite community out of my entire.
I know you did
career.
say that, and I can just see
it. Yeah.
I could just see it on your face. It's all over you.
I love
your
it.
passion.
Yeah, this community is amazing. But I would say, number one, we're a beautifully designed and built community, right? But my boss, Keith, who's our community president, he will run the daily operations of our community. He said
Shout out to Keith.
Shout out to Keith. We love Keith. He's wonderful. And he said, a box is a box, right? A building's a building. But what sets us apart, I think, is the heart inside that building, right? So it's the team members that we're bringing on. Although we're a new community, our team members are not new to seniors and serving them.
Talk to me a little bit about that community of team.
Yeah, so
where are they coming from?
Yeah, so we have our community president, Keith Littman, who's amazing. He lives in Aventura with his family. He knows the community very well. He's opened another community in the area, and so he has experience with senior living, but also opening new communities and making sure that they run smoothly, that we meet the expectations of our residents and our team members. So we're very lucky to have him sort of as the head of the ship, because it does come from the top down. And then we just brought on an amazing dining director, like I mentioned, who has experience, in the area, but also working on cruise ships.
I want his name or her name and number, because on that Sunday, they're going to meal prep for me.
Yeah, so Aaron Dreilinger, he's amazing. So we're happy to have him on board as well. And so, and we're still in the process. So our community is not open yet. And so we're still in the process of bringing on those team members. But the great part about that is that we're taking our time, right? We're not just filling these seats to fill these seats. We are really making sure that we have the right team in place for this community.
How many residents will you be able to serve?
So we have 163 apartments. We have several 2-bedrooms, so we're getting several couples. So, I would say anywhere from 163 to about 175, 180 residents will accommodate when it's full.
And let's talk about getting in touch with you for more information.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can call our main number, which is 786-401-5558.
And the crazy thing is you're either going to get Amanda or you're going to get Keith live.
Yep. Yeah. So we're the ones that talk to you. This is not a call center. These are real people that we are really working with, that we are walking through, where they are in their life. Some people, again, are just independent and they're just doing some research. And then some people are in a situation where they really need some help.
So it's luxurysenior.com.
Yes.
.life.
Yeah. So you can certainly go to our website, which is www.luxurysenior.life. Or we're also on Facebook, the International at Aventura. So we encourage you to follow us on Facebook also. And you can see videos and posts of our events. And
not only the events, but some advice, really wonderful advice on what to do in this, that, and the other, whatever's going on. You did a lot of beautiful work on preparing for making transition for the residents and their families. I think that was really important so that we don't feel alone.
Definitely.
There's no isolation, that emotional, that psychological change is, and that preparation is really tough on everybody. And again, you talked about seeing your mother, not the same person who you knew. I think letting go of that is that loss, that grief, but knowing where she is or was then and moving forward to making the best life that she had available for her for the time that she was with you.
Right. Yeah, so important. Yeah, and like I said, everybody's at a different spot in their life, but I think having the knowledge and knowing what's available, senior living, even 10 years ago was a very different industry. It really was. And so not only does the International focus on taking care of your physical health, right? We want to offer a physical location that's safe and, you're getting your health care and whatever you need, but we also want to make sure that you're taking care of spiritually, emotionally, mentally. There is that mind-body connection that if your mind is healthy in your 80s and 90s, perhaps your body can be healthy in your 80s and 90s, or at least, we can help keep you at a stable level.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love, I never thought about it, but visiting hours, visiting policies. I feel like I'm going to do like, we're going to have a raid from the boys.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is our residents' home. So they can have guests. We have a lot of grandkids that come in. We have a lot of great grandkids that come in. We'll offer family nights as well. And so we want our residents to have their friends and family over. We give them spaces in our community to be able to visit with their loved ones.
And it's
so
beautiful sunny Aventura, right next to the beaches, essentially located to all shopping, and just makes it so much easier. And it's right on Biscayne Boulevard and 214th Street.
Yeah.
And beautiful. How many square feet is it?
The whole building. Wow. I'd actually have to look up the entire building.
It's huge.
It's a 10-story building. So it is quite large, 163 apartments. Again, our group of developers have developed quite a few spaces down there. So there's going to be doctor's offices in those glass buildings. There's retail space, that market cafe that'll be open to the public. So it is really a place in Aventura that is under development and is starting to thrive and boom, right? So next door we have the Serena Hotel as well. And so if, out of town guests want to stay in the hotel, they actually have a connecting bridge to our parking garage.
Oh, so they can go.
They can just walk across.
That makes it so much easier.
Yeah, we love it.
And the time that we have left.
Yeah.
Something that I might have missed.
Something that you might have missed. Well,
or that you want to share.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you yet.
I would say, for anybody that's considering a move to senior living, a lot of times they get overwhelmed by the move itself. They're like thinking about all the things they have to get rid of. Downsizing is definitely a thing, if they're coming from a larger condo or house into a, 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment. And so we help them through that process. We talk to them about what makes sense, what are their options for that. And then also, just getting to know the community, in and of itself. Come have lunch with us, get to know me, get to know Keith, get to know our dining director. Don't be shy to come 1, 2, or 3 times before making that decision of actually moving into the community.
Because information, knowledge is powerful.
It is.
And especially when making this transition for a loved one.
Right.
And for the family members, that is also a big transition, and supporting them through this process is wonderful.
It is.
Well, I'm going to say it. I want you to sing again for me. But before you do, luxurysenior.life. Or you can call 786-401-5558.
That's it.
For more information, you get Amanda and Keith, and it'll be wonderful.
Yes.
Sing for me for one more time, because you have a beautiful voice.
Right.
And the residents are just so privileged to have you. What are we going to sing now?
Let's see. What's a request? You got a common request? Let's see. Frank Sinatra's a big hit.
All right, let's do Frankie. Come on, baby. Let's go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of New Yorkers down here that are moving in. So, fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what love is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, take my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me.
Love it.
I didn't have the karaoke words in front of me, so.
No, that's okay. She improvised. I love it. A true musical theater major.
Thanks.
Thank you, Amanda Griffith.
Thank you for having me.
And
it means a lot. Thank
luck
you so much.
To the International at Aventura. Something is needed. And for more information, again, it is luxurysenior.life.
That's it. We're excited.
And we're very excited. And I want to thank you for joining me today on the Community Voice. I'm Fara Sachs. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. And I'd also like to make a quick shout out to Julian Chang and to Gina Z for clothing and accessories today on my show. Thank you and have a beautiful day. Until